When there's a rift in any relationship, it causes pain and heartache, and that's especially true when it comes to dealing with your kids. We want to make sure we're communicating with them, right? So Dr. Fabrizio Mancini is back with some tips of dealing with these delicate situations and how to really foster that family relationship with your kids, right?
Yeah, and you know, we have a new year, so one of the best things is the fact that we can start again. You know, every single year we should really pay attention as to what are we doing good as a parent. You know, most of us criticize ourselves so much because we don't feel we do good enough.
Sure.
But you know what? We do the best we can with what we have.
Please, I got to put that on a wall somewhere so I remind myself of that all the time. That's a good one.
And I really believe that most parents do the best they can. The challenge is that for some of us, it's never good enough, right? And especially when our children are telling us that sometimes because they want something that we can't give them at the time. So some of the things that I really feel that is important, I'll give you some of the tips that I've raising two boys, you know, one is 17 and one is 14. I have a lot of experience in some of the things that have worked, and I just will tell you the first thing that I think will be very critical is we want to make sure that our kids are going through
so like one of the tips you gave me, for example, is making sure you guys are all sitting down and having meals together, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, having a meal once a day as a family, I believe is critical because it allows us to be able to get together. And getting together as a family, there's many studies that have shown that is really what allows us to get to know one another and see how your day was going, you know?
And that's how I was raised. And every night we would sit down to dinner right when Jeopardy came on, and we'd all play Jeopardy together for 30 minutes and got to talk about our days. It was great.
Well, and also what we have to be careful today is the cell phone. Because a lot of times, you know, we see that even in restaurants, you know, people are all sitting together with their cell phones looking at Instagrams and Facebooks and all of that instead of just having a conversation with one another, which I believe is really one of the key things that helps us a great deal.
So what about another tip for families dealing with their kiddos?
Well, the second one is I think it's important to be able to grow with ensuring that there's three goals that we can share with one another. One of the key things that I find is that what's important to us as a parent may not be what's important to our children. So if you and your husband, let's say, they write the three goals, and you ask your children to write three goals, then you have an exercise that you all share with one another what those three goals are.
Now, is there an age-appropriate time to do that? Because I feel like I'd have to explain to my 5-year-old what a goal is.
Right. So if you have little ones, it's really not a matter about that. It's just a matter of finding out what's important to them, just having a talk. You know, watching what they pay attention to. Because the children are very easy. You know, if you watch what they do, then they'll tell you what it is that they feel is important. And that's my last tip. And the last tip is talk less, show more.
Love it.
One of the key things that we have found is that our kids are tuning us out because we're telling them everything we want them to be, everything we want them to know, everything we want them to behave as. And really, so we're trying to live our lives through their lives. And that's not going to work.
Sure.
So the key thing is to not really pay attention and not talk so much to our children, but to show them through our behavior what it is that we want them to behave as. So if you don't want them to lie, then you don't lie. If you want them to be polite to other people, then you be polite to other people.
Lead by example.
Yeah, if you want them to be conservative or financially responsible, you should be financially responsible.
Got it. So and it's all about communication, right? That's how you're fostering that relationship with the kids and staying connected with them.
Well, the communication is what keeps us as a family, and not losing that communication, whether we have parents that are living in different places or whatever. Just make sure that we are trying to maintain that connection with one another.
Great tips. I love those. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Fabrizio Mancini. And the name of his book is The Power of Self-Healing. It's available on his website at bookstores and on Amazon. We'll have his link at thebroadcasttv.com. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thanks.
Next, for many, the new year brings a new chapter after a divorce. We're talking about moving forward in 2014 when we come back.